you so much at home for joining us today. It is the Christian View, where we take today's hot topics and we weigh them against the Word of God, because God does have a view. And today we want to talk a little bit about lonely versus being alone. Have you had someone in your life that you do everything with, and you have for years and years and years, and then all of a sudden one day you wake up and that person's gone and you're alone? Well, is it awkward for you to go out by yourself to do things, go into restaurants? Is that awkward to you? Well, let's talk about being lonely versus lonely.
You know, I've heard about what Japan has done to kind of resolve this problem, and I think it's quite strange, but there's an internet cafe that you go to, not an internet cafe, but a cafe that you'll go to called Anti-Loneliness. And when you go in and you sit down, they will bring a stuffed animal that looks like a moo cow, solid white when I looked it up, and they sit it in the seat across from you. And that little moo cow goes and visits everybody in the restaurant, and I thought that was the strangest thing.
Well, they need to have
people
stuffed animals that look like people.
They did. I think you could do that in Czechoslovakia.
My husband was in China last fall, and he went to one of those.
No way.
And he was with a group of college students, and he said they were dying laughing, and they were taking pictures with their arms around it. And
did he know that's what it was before
they
he went
didn't know what it was for until I told him about it. And so the thing about it is, I was thinking, would that really make someone feel less lonely to be sitting beside a big panda bear? I mean, really?
Well, it's actually kind of contradictory. You know, if you're going out and you are saying, I'm going to just enjoy myself and spend time with myself, and now I have this animated object that's sitting across from me that's not even alive, you know, what am I really saying? Am I saying that I still have to have some kind of crutch or something there in order to make myself feel like I'm not alone?
I think it's saying I have problems. I actually think it's ridiculous. That's my first thought. But my second thought, you'll see that I have 7 children. I often run against, into these characters at home. Yeah. And, at the table, at the tub.
You would worship the time to be
in
alone.
the den. I'm constantly telling them to get rid of these, get these toys out of the way. But the point is, they're children, okay? Yes. As adults, really?
Well, now, Lee, you are a single man. Yes. Now, if I was a single woman and I saw you sitting next to a teddy bear, I would not be attracted. I'd be thinking that was weird.
But I think we have to admit, there are lots of lonely people here in the United States and all over the world. And how do we deal with loneliness, guys?
Well, you can be alone, but not be lonely. That's for sure.
True.
Now I have experience traveling with jobs, where I had to go into a restaurant by myself, eat a meal, and it is kind of awkward. I can remember going into a restaurant one time in Wisconsin.
They say, how many won?
Yes, how many won? And I came in, and everybody in the restaurant turns around and looks, with that look like you're not from around here kind of look.
Yeah.
It's a little awkward, but you have to kind of get over that, and I think there's freedom in learning to be confident in who you are and being able to be alone like that. My family will see someone who's sitting alone and feel sorry for them, and I think we feel worse for the person than they feel. So yeah,
but sometimes you actually, like you said, speaks to that confidence. Sometimes when I go out, I do go out just to be by myself, just to kind of have that self-reflection, mind gathering of my thoughts, to just kind of just say, okay, Lee, get in touch with yourself and just spend a little quality time with myself. And I don't really want to have company.
Yeah.
Well, we need solitude. I mean, solitude can be a great thing, and I think sometimes we have to ask ourselves, if we're afraid to be alone, what is the underlying issue that's going on? Because there's some insecurity, and I was with a group of ladies, Christian women leaders, the other day, and we were talking about how we struggle so much with insecurities. And it doesn't matter who you are. I think we all do. We all have insecurities. And so it's practicing, to gain that confidence. And sometimes, like when I first started going to restaurants by myself, and I would take something in with me. I'd take a book in to read. And one time I had my Bible with me, and I was actually able to witness to somebody because they recognized I had my Bible. So, take something in or just practice at it, getting more confident.
I think this would be a great study. We could do this great study. I would almost bet you, Ann, that if you went into a restaurant by yourself, I would almost bet you that not a person in that restaurant would know you're by yourself because they're not looking at you. They're looking down at their cell phones or their iPads or social media. They don't have a clue you're sitting there by yourself.
I don't know. If Ann walked into a restaurant, she might get some looks. They notice her in that restaurant.
Jesse, I am a sanguine. I am a people person. And so I just always think that you should be with somebody. And that's just kind of my nature. And so I do notice people that are alone in restaurants. And my husband and I went to a nice restaurant recently, and there was a lady there all by herself. And I saw she ordered herself an appetizer and main course and dessert. And she was all by herself just having a good time.
She was happy as she could be.
Go for it, lady, because I don't know
as she
that
could
if I was by myself that I would be able to do that.
I've told
she
a
must have
lot
been confident.
I've told a lot of our young women that come to me in ministry, you know, that these are your golden years. When you're young, you're single, and you don't have any obligations to be at home, washing, cooking, cleaning, taking care of children. Enjoy those years. Enjoy the ability to travel if you want to travel. Enjoy the ability to go out to eat if you want to go out to eat. And treasure those golden years. I think it's so important.
You know, my mom, my dad died a couple of years ago, and they were together 58 years. And they were inseparable. I mean, if you saw one, you saw the other. They were inseparable. And when he died, I thought, what's she going to do? But I'll call her from time to time, and I'll say, Mama, what are you doing? I'm at Texas Roadhouse. And I'll say, well, who are you with? And she said, oh, I'm by myself. So stay with us. We'll be right back.